Hello traders, this is Tom Lewis from Mobtech and this is the 17th of September 2013. This is a daily market review for the current market situation. As you can see, we had several good announcements this morning. We had an announcement regarding the Australian dollar, red announcement, very important one. We had an announcement regarding the pound, the euro, specifically regarding the German economy. That was a good announcement, and we saw that the CAC and the DAX climbed a bit higher. After that, we had an announcement regarding the Canadian dollar, 1.7%. That was another good announcement on the Canadian dollar, and an announcement on the dollar. They did not change the status of the dollar a lot. I can tell you that for the last several days, the dollar lost a lot of strength, was very weak in the market generally. And I can tell you that just as we saw yesterday and the day before that, the Australian dollar and the New Zealand both are still moving on, expressing strength in front of a variety of opportunities, and we've got many good trades on both currencies, obviously in front of the weaker currencies, in front of the euro and in front of the US dollar. Later on this day, we don't have a lot of liquidity, and that's not a bad issue. That's a good thing because we can allow the market to continue the already going movements. I can tell you that tomorrow we have an amazing day because we've got an announcement from the FOMC. The FOMC announcements usually delivers a lot of liquidity, and a lot of problematic situation in the market is expected to form on the charts. Let's go to the chart and see what is our expectation. So again, going to the strength index, I'm going to the Japanese yen currencies, as I'm always doing. Just one second, let me check that everything is in order. Okay, so let's organize the currencies according to the strength indication. We know that the New Zealand and the Australian dollar both are the strongest currencies in the market at the moment. Any kind of potential toward their strengthening movement will be a good choice. We've got that. Okay, the euro is not bad at all as well, and the Swiss franc. All four currencies are pretty strong, but the strongest are the Australian dollar and the New Zealand. As you can see, the dollar itself is one of the weakest currencies, and the Japanese yen is weak as well. The Canadian dollar and the pound are pretty much at the same level, approximately at the middle. I wouldn't dare to trade the Canadian dollar and the pound at the moment. I would look for New Zealand and Australian dollar in front of the dollar, and maybe in front of the Canadian dollar. Again, to gain strength, you need to express that in front of a weaker currency. Let's go over the currencies and see what we're expecting to see. Now, I can tell you that we didn't have a good analysis according to our strategy, and that's not a bad thing. Again, the market, as you can see, let's take the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand for the example. The market, once it's bouncing upward and downward in a very narrowed area, we know that the market is not expressing a strong movement toward a specific direction. We're not expecting it to do that, and this is why we've got our strategy. As you can see, the strategy over here is not allowing me to participate in that trade. Now, if I would open the chart without looking at the index and at the indication, then obviously I would take a trade without understanding whether that's a good potential or not. But as you can see, we don't have a good potential according to the liquidity on the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand, and that's very logical because both of them present approximately the same strength as we saw on the strength indication. You look at that, the euro versus the Australian dollar is climbing a bit higher. That will allow the stochastic to climb as well, and then we'll have a good opportunity. As you can see, the RSI is way down, and that's a great potential for continuance of a downtrend. Again, in half an hour, I think that we will have a good potential trade over there, the euro versus the Australian dollar for a put option. I remind you, we said that the Australian dollar should gain strength in the market, and the euro should be in the middle in terms of strength and weakness, and an expression of a stronger Australian dollar in front of the euro is logical over here. The Australian dollar will express strength in front of the US dollar as well. We see the stochastic dropping down. We see the RSI at the top. That's a great indication for a continuance of an uptrend. Looking at the euro versus Japanese yen, we know that both currencies are pretty weak. We're not expecting it to deliver a good potential, although every time the stochastic will drop down, it'll be a good place to catch a continuance of an uptrend. Just as we can see on the euro versus the US dollar, we have some bounces, some climbing up over here and over here. Good potential for trades. Again, I'm not expecting to see that as a good potential on a 15-minute scale. On a 5-minute chart, I'm pretty sure that we will see a good indication. Yeah, we've got a good indication for an uptrend over here and over here. So again, if you need an additional assistance regarding our strategy, you're more than welcome to contact your broker. They'll be happy to assist you with understanding the strategy, understanding how to take a lot of trades according to our perspective. You know that we've got a very high success rate with our trades, and you see the expression on your accounts. Let's go over other charts. We saw that there was an amazing potential on the gold. As you can see, the gold is crossing at the moment. Let's look at the larger image. We can see that the gold generally is in a downtrend movement, and we've got an RSI bounced a bit higher above the 50 level, but all along this movement it capped below the 50 level, and that's a good indication for a continuance of an uptrend. That is my expectation. Every time the market is bouncing a bit higher, I'm expecting it to fall back down again. Until the RSI won't cross the 50 level up, then we won't change our direction according to the strategy's perspective. Look at that. That was a beautiful trade for a put option, and that was a beautiful trade as well. That was a beautiful trade as well. See how many opportunities we had, although the market was fluctuating around the same level. That's an amazing issue, okay? Not all traders can find good potential using the current market status, but our strategy is delivering that potential as well. So I do expect the gold and the silver both to collapse down. At the moment, you can see that we've crossed the trend line. We had a good indication. If you weren't trading this asset yet, I'm expecting it to bounce a bit higher, and then we'll be able to catch another trade for a put option on the gold, okay? A 5-minute chart will indicate a continuance of a downtrend once the corrective pattern will conclude its structure. That concludes our the daily market analysis. I wish you all the best with your trades. Again, if you need any assistance understanding the strategy, you've got your brokers. You can turn to them, ask them questions, and you can join the webinars, viewing exactly how we're analyzing the charts, and learn a bit more to elevate your knowledge and your profitable trades. All the best. Have a pleasant day, and bye-bye.